of the item you're picking up. Before that even appears, you can just quickly tap triangle and exit out. Great thing about this game, quick turning. It's R2 I believe.
What are you doing here?
And yeah, Regina's quick turn just does a 180.
By the way, I found a key.
Very useful.
Hand it over. Let's head outside.
So like I mentioned, enemy dodging isn't too difficult, and you just have to learn the Okay, hello everyone, welcome to a speedrun of Dino Crisis on the PlayStation 1. This is being played on the PS3 just because the graphics look a lot better and it's a lot more convenient to use HDMI.
This is the first checkpoint. Playtime is officially over, kiddies.
So this is a no weapon speedrun of the game. My favourite category to speedrun.
Maybe this has been a wild night of partying for the guards. You know.
Speedrunning this game can be a pain. It's a long game, there's a lot of cutscenes. You can't skip any cutscenes. And it's mainly about movement and menuing, also puzzles and learning enemy behaviour, the dinosaur behaviour.
Forget about it. Just let Gale handle it.
Because they all have different behaviors. You just have to get used to it. But since this is a no weapon speedrun, there won't be any guns involved.
Okay, let's do this. I'll infiltrate the facility.
So we won't actually shoot anything. To be honest, it's not much different from any percent. You literally shoot the first dino with the handgun and kill it, and shoot a T-Rex later on with 3 grenade rounds, and that's it. That's the only difference between this and any percent.
Let me guess. This is some of your handiwork, right?
Brass is still warm. These guards were shooting at something very recently.
So yeah, the audio in this game is quite bad. It's very quiet,
I don't
and
think these guards hit anything before getting sliced and diced.
there's kind of audio spikes where like certain parts will just be really loud,
Ripped right through the steel.
and all the dialogue is quiet compared to everything else.
But
It's
I still say you
not very well mixed, the audio.
Very funny. Still need to figure out what happened here. Continue to sweep the area.
So like I said, it's all about movement. So when we pick up this item here, all I do there is quickly tap triangle. Triangle brings the menu, opens the menu, and it also closes the menu if it's already open. When you pick up an item, it opens the menu, and after a second it shows you an image of the item you're picking up. If you quickly tap triangle when you pick something up, you can just cancel out of the menu quickly, and it won't even show an image. And then all I did was I quick turned, so I think it's R2 on the PS1 version to do a 180, which is very useful in this game. But yeah, like I said, it's all about movement. You just gotta practice movement for this speedrun.
I caught the last part of your conversation.
By the way, I found a key.
Hand it over. Let's head outside.
So yeah, this is also the Japanese version, I forgot to mention. There isn't a huge amount of difference time-wise. I believe it's just seconds difference. Japanese just being a few seconds faster. There isn't actually much text scrolling in this game. It all just appears at once, other than
That's disgusting.
maybe some puzzles.
This guy's been eviscerated. Something tore his intestines straight out.
Look at those tooth marks. It had to be some sort of animal.
So a really hard part of this game is learning all the puzzles. There is, I believe, like 27 puzzles altogether. So for this it's just right, center, right. Pretty simple. All these battery puzzles are all the same solution, so red, blue, green, white. But they tend to be in different orders. Also, other than the item menu, the general like in-game menu, like for example that battery puzzle, it's very sluggish. All the DD code inputs are very sluggish and inaccurate. I'm not sure whether this is because it's been played on PS3 or whether it's the Japanese version, but it's 100% inaccurate. For example, on DD code screens, you press like right a few times, it will sometimes do it 4 times. It's just very annoying. So simply just run forward, go past it, and that's it. It's not too hard to dodge, it's all about movement. In any percent, you've killed that dinosaur. There isn't much difference between this and any percent. So if you kill that dinosaur in any percent, these cutscenes don't play, which saves a bit of time. It doesn't save a lot of time, but it saves a little bit.
I got the control system back online. What's the situation over there?
It's Gale. I lost him.
So what's the bad news? Did you run into some guards?
You're not gonna believe this. He was attacked by some kind of dinosaur.
That's a good one. So, who was it? Arnie?
This isn't a
So
joke.
for this
You
game,
were just
I didn't
attacked by a
memorize
big-ass lizard.
all the puzzles. I just wrote down all the puzzles. It'd be really hard to memorize all the puzzles in this game.
Sort out this whole situation.
So I'd recommend writing them down if you want to try this game. So even maps, just like then, press triangle quickly to exit out. And quick turn's your best friend in this game. It's really useful, more than you might think. The movement in this game is really sluggish. She turns really slowly. She turns a little faster when you're not moving, but like when you're turning on the spot. But in general, she moves very slowly, turns very slowly. Sorry. But yeah, there isn't much difference time-wise between the versions. So if you're playing PS2, PC, or on the actual PS1, the in-game time of this game is pretty good, so there isn't much difference, if any.
What's our status?
This security system is a snap from real amateur stuff. So, what exactly happened to Gale? You said that he was attacked by a dinosaur?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I just hope he's still alive. Anyway, our first priority is to complete the mission.
What we ought to do is just call in the chopper and get off this death trap.
That's a great idea, but Cooper has the radio, and he's missing. Hey, what's with this monitor?
That's the security monitor for the underground area.
Yeah, there is a glitch there. Seems to happen
So I take it that
all
means
the time.
Power still has
Don't know whether
been
it's just the
restored.
PS1 version or just the Japanese.
Exactly. They must have that
But
real
he always
accurate
says
power
that
system
like he goes bats, he like repeats himself. I don't know why that is.
After we finished our sweep of the ground level.
Okay, then I'll take care of the shutters that are blocking the way. You work your way in, grab the dock, and then rendezvous back. Yeah. What I want to know is where those things are coming from.
Okay, so I'd say that's like the first little bit of the game, up until that control room. Now there isn't as much cutscenes, and we can like actually do stuff. So yeah, activate this, quick turn around, grab this, skip the dialogue, run in here, grab this on the floor, and then the codes are all different compared to the English versions of the game. The Japanese has different codes, so you want to keep that in mind too. If you happen to be playing the Japanese version, it's 0375 for that blocker.
Regina, I took care of the shutter. You should be able to access the control panel now.
Already? That was quick. Thanks.
Hey girl, just get going.
So that raptor isn't really bothered, just run to the door. If you want to be holding right and forward, grab that, exit out. There's the dinosaur positions in this game are all like RNG. All different random positions. So gotta also keep that in mind. It doesn't really play a huge part during this first part of the game, but when we meet a certain dinosaur later on, towards the end, it does play quite a part and makes it pretty difficult. So when you're picking up the key item there, you want to be careful you don't accidentally examine the body, because you will pick up an aid, which isn't useful whatsoever. She'll crouch down and pick up an aid, waste a lot of time and isn't useful. So you want to make sure you don't actually do that. So in the Japanese version, I believe these are the same, Japanese and English. The DDK door codes are all the same. It's just the other puzzles, the other number codes are all different. So that one's head.
Are you from the rescue team?
Yes.
But like I said, for some reason, either the Japanese or it's the PS1 version, the DDK doors are quite inaccurate and sluggish. I'm not sure why.
What are you talking about?
Or it might just be because it's on PS3.
Here. Take this.
What's this for?
I don't know. Told me extremely vital.
So up here we want to get this first, and then we're going to use the first one on the left, second one on the right option, and then the code is 705037. I believe that code is the same every version, but I'm not entirely sure, but it is 705037. So you want to turn a little bit, ready? And then after he swings his head, just run out. You can get insta-killed there, so you want to be careful. As long as you keep running, there isn't much of a chance that'll happen. But that's what I was on about when I said audio spikes. You see, you're quite loud there. The game audio is just mixed pretty bad.
Unlock the shutters near the entrance. One more thing. I just caught a glimpse of something on the monitor that looked human. It should be somewhere near the front of the training room. So check there first.
So this code is a newcomer. The DDK door codes are quite easy to remember once you play the game a couple of times. Yeah, you want to be careful you don't accidentally run into that body. It's kind of annoying, that corpse. Now this switch on the wall, I press it every time, but sometimes the dinosaur doesn't even come, the raptor doesn't even come close enough for it to work. So sometimes he won't even come close enough to get hit by that, but I always do it just in case. So on those sequences that said danger at the bottom, you literally just want to mash all the buttons.
Gale, you're still alive.
That's pretty much it.
What is it? A lizard?
That's no lizard. It's a dinosaur.
Dinosaur?
Look, something's really wrong with this place. This whole mission has gone sour.
It's always eat or be eaten out in the battlefield, no matter who or what you're up against. Any word on the dock yet? I've got to hook up with Rick again. My radio's dead, and he's the only one who can fix it.
Right, so now we got the key for the gate, so we can go to the second generator. Yeah, sometimes we're in a pretty bad position. You can get bodied there. In this game, you can get bodied quite easily by dinosaurs. Also, if you get bodied by a dinosaur and you try to go behind him, he can swing you with his tail and knock you on the floor. And sometimes if you try and go in front of him, he can just grab you, grab your arm, and there's a little animation there. So it can be kind of annoying, the enemies in this game. So you want to make sure you drop the battery first. But yeah, in this game, also before I mention, you want to make sure you open the door. You can't just examine the case, the glass window. You have to go to the right hand side, and then you have to go to the left hand side to actually move them around. But yeah, the solution is just red, blue, green, white. But yeah, in this game you want to get used to what everything's called, the names of everything. Just so you can read it and know what you want to use. Because it's like, it's not like item slots, you can get used to where stuff is, but it's...
Yeah? So, do we
It's
have power yet?
it's a lot easier just to remember what stuff, what items are called.
There's something I had to talk to you about.
So yeah, there is a bit of backtracking in this game. To be honest, it's quite a small area that you explore. there's that dino there. He'll always come through either on the first time you come through before you go to the generator, or the second time. I find that if you do a quicker turn, a more quicker turn around that corner on your first way through to go to the second generator, he won't actually come out. He'll always come out the second time.
What's the emergency?
Gail just told me he saw someone on the underground monitor.
Flashed by pretty quick. I'm sure I saw something. Rick, open the shutter to the underground area. What is it?
It's a distress signal from one of our team members. It must be Cooper.
Yeah, or it might be Tom. He infiltrated this facility posing as one of the researchers. Can you pinpoint the signal?
It's coming from outside of the building, to the east of the rear entrance we came in from.
So coming up here, we got a little option. Throughout the game, we get option whether we want to go with Rick's idea or Gail's idea.
He's asking for our help. We don't leave our own behind.
On a casual playthrough, you probably want to go with Rick's idea, just because his idea makes more sense, and he's a lot nicer than Gail. However, in a speedrun, Gail's options are usually faster. It's usually get straight to the point, apart from the last option, which pretty much decides. The last option in game pretty much decides whether we get the best ending or the bad ending.
That punk is really starting to get on my nerves. Regina, heading out to investigate the underground.
So Gail's option is the first one. If you're playing Japanese, it's the first one. I believe it's the same for English, but just in case you can't read katakana or kanji, or I guess hiragana. If you can't read Japanese at all, it's the first option. Playing the Japanese version isn't that much of a handicap if you don't know Japanese. You just need to get used to where items are, what the characters look like. It helps if you know Japanese, or at least a little bit. So yeah, there you want to quickly grab the thing on the desk. You can just run in a straight line, and then you want to examine that little shelf to get a medkit. Yeah, I think I didn't hit the trigger there for that door. So yeah, that shelf with the medkit, you can kind of hit that on the right hand side. It doesn't have to be straight on. But you want to get the medkit because in this game we pretty much save the medkits for the final area with the fairy Xenosaurus. I believe that's how you say it. They're also known as tickle chickens. That's kind of a little joke we have on my live stream. We call them tickle chickens. Don't know why. There isn't a big reason. Someone just said tickle chickens, and we kind of stuck with that. So yeah, they're quite annoying, and we pretty much save the medkits up until that final part. We get a total of 3 medkits throughout the game. Medkits M, kind of like a standard heal, kind of like two green herbs mixed in like Resident Evil. We start off with a medkit. We pick 2 up throughout the game. Also, another thing to note: some rooms, when you try to exit the room, it'll ask if you want to save. For example, that room. Of course, you would want to press no every time. So for this room, go straight, grab the fingerprint device, and then that second key item is quite tricky to get. The chair kind of gets in the way, but you want to go in between those 2 chairs to pick it up. Now we want to go back through here because we need to use the fingerprint device on his corpse. So in this room, the code for the ID card on the computer, I believe it's 69307 in the Japanese. Oh, 46907. Sorry, my bad. The codes are different, like I said, between the Japanese and the English. But that's Paul Baker's ID code. So we used the fingerprint device on Paul Baker's body, and then we used it on the computer with the code. So we now have Paul Baker's ID card.
Rick here. I found Tom.
And
I was too late. He didn't make it.
he did
So the reason we choose Gale's way is because
Back in the control room right now.
otherwise, if we choose Rick's way, there's a lot more cutscenes, because there's a lot more cutscenes with Tom. He kind of gets killed by Raptor, but yeah, there's a lot more cutscenes. So it's actually quicker to choose Gale's way. Yeah, I almost messed up there. You kind of have to improvise if that happens and you get bodied by a dino or a raptor. You kind of need to choose which way, left or right, you want to go. It's kind of hard sometimes. But that was close to me getting knocked over. So these guys are really annoying. This is another sequence where you just want to mash buttons. You also may notice that Regina dropped her handgun. You do not need to pick that back up, as it's a no weapon speedrun. So yeah, just get those two items. You'll also notice in the Japanese version, in the item screen, Regina has like a kind of like anime art style to her little picture of herself. In the English version, it's just like a CGI pretty render of Regina. I kind of prefer the Japanese. Just for that, I'd take note of that. So this is just red, green, blue on both sides, in this order. So this puzzle looks really easy, and it is, but sometimes just messing up the puzzle, like pressing the wrong button, costs you quite a bit of time. If you press the wrong one, you kind of have to press it again to put it back up, and then press the other one. So you want to try and make sure you're accurate with it. So make sure you grab the item and then leave. But yeah, that puzzle isn't too difficult, and it's the same solution regardless of which version you play. And this is another one of those action sequences. Yeah, if you fail that, Regina kinda gets the same treatment. Okay, so now we can kind of get out of this little area. We do have to do a little bit more in a minute. But we're not far off like the halfway point, what I consider to be the halfway point. So this puzzle here can be pretty tricky. You kind of want to write it down unless you have really good memory. And I believe this is the same as the English, the solution. You also want to be careful not to accidentally bump into that shelf because Regina will push it. And in this game, pushing a shelf or pushing anything like a box, you cannot stop it. She just does the whole animation of pushing it. So if you can just copy what's on screen. It's just 2 inputs for this first crane puzzle, and the second one later on has a lot more inputs. But I believe this is the fastest solution. Okay, so now we just need to go use the ID card on the elevator. So this raptor here, that raptor there can be pretty annoying. He can body you or just decide to hit you on the floor. So this is another one of those action sequences. There's quite a few in this game. So the code for this AGDQ door is laboratory. So yeah, those raptors can be in random positions. That was quite a good RNG, I guess. So just code here in the Japanese version is 5037. That unlocks the room so we can go in and do the gas sequence puzzle. You want to make sure you grab that and don't forget to. Pretty much everything we grab in this game is a key item other than the couple of health packs we pick up. So for this, I'm going to press red a few times, then green, then red a few times, then green, and then blue. Or yellow. I'd say green, but yeah, just kind of copy that. You basically want to kill him and then dissipate the poison gas and neutralize it so you can go in. Otherwise there's a cutscene with him. You can guess that raptor, it's quite fun, but of course that takes time. That second raptor can be pretty annoying, depending on where he is. So first you want to walk a little bit forward and get this. That's another med pack, the last one we pick up. So you want to use the crane keycard, and it's 3695 for the Japanese version. For this you want to put the double coloured white ones at the top, the first double white ones, and then the first double clear ones, and then the clear and white one. Kind of hard to explain, you just need to watch the video. But I believe that's the fastest solution, and it's the same for the English too. So that second option after picking the item up asks if you want to read the memo. Just cancel out of that. So here we want to use the right keycard. One it says R on the right hand side, that's quickest. Then it asks us if we want to call Gale for assistance.
The door looks like it needs 2 people working in tandem to unlock it.
Sit tight, we'll be right there. So, what's our status?
Here, take this.
Ready? Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
And then the code phrase is energy. So this is probably the shortest cutscene in the game. Just that's pretty much the cutscene of it. Look at the cool little blue thing, blue energy thing, and then run out. That's it. There's nothing in that room to pick up.
He's not here.
Why? This operation is taking way too long already.
Warning. The emergency system has been activated. Emergency lockdown is broken.
What's going on?
Oh, Kirk must have tripped off the security system.
What's your status, Regina? I'm reading an emergency lockdown in your section.
We're trapped inside here. Kirk must have triggered it off. We didn't touch anything.
Can you clear it?
I'll see what I can do.
What's wrong with this thing?
Cool, Gale.
So what you do here is just pick up the screwdriver and the chair. So the solution for this is the third one right, turn it right. Second one normal, last one right. Yeah, second one you don't need to do anything.
Warning. The emergency lockdown has been bypassed.
I'm not sure if
You have 10
those
until
kind of
the
puzzles are the same or not with the English
Better
version.
get moving.
I only know the Japanese solutions, so, but I'm pretty sure the DDK doors are all the same,
Underground area is crawling with
and the
fire.
crane puzzles too.
We'll never be able to make it through there.
Don't sweat it. them all out one by one if I have to.
Brilliant plan, fearless leader, but I have a better one. These readouts tell me there's an emergency escape hatch in the dock's private quarters. You should be able to make a clean break through it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but there's one problem. The hatch is password locked through the mother system.
So again, we get another one of those options to choose who you want to side with, Gale or Rick.
I know.
Again, for this one we want to choose Gale,
I don't.
as it's quicker.
Fine. What about you, Chief?
Make your choice.
If we choose Rick's, we kind of need to do this really annoying memory puzzle. It does bring us out right to where we need to be if we do that way, but the puzzle is 100% RNG, totally random, and is actually a hard puzzle and requires you to write the solution down pretty much, unless you're really good at that sort of thing. And it does take quite a while for it to do its thing, so it's just quicker to do it this way. So yeah, we're just heading straight to the back to the first crane puzzle.
Gale!
You're a lucky guy, Doc.
So this must be the elusive Dr. Kirk.
Yeah. Gave us quite a run for our money. You get around, don't you? Just like a rat. You got this whole island set up as your little maze.
Well, I am glad I kept you entertained. Tough guy.
So this cutscene's quite long.
I'm surprised.
Most of the Dr. Kirk cutscenes are quite long.
I had heard they
So if you see Dr. Kirk in this cutscene, you know you can have a little break.
That's the way you want it. I'd be more than happy to oblige. So what'll it be, genius?
But yeah, I chose to run the Japanese version just because I own the Japanese version. I do own the PAL version, however that's not
but I can't leave before
competitive or
results.
possible to run and get a good time, so,
About your results.
and I prefer the Japanese versions of games anyway, so I chose to run the Japanese version.
Regina, locate the communication facility and call in the extraction chip.
You can't do this. I have rights.
According to command, your government property now. I suggest you take it up with them.
No, they can't do this to me. They deserted me 3 years ago and now they want me back? This is preposterous. Shut up. Shut up, idiot. You lame, flat-topped, jar-headed.
Shut up. Where's the communication room?
Take the elevator up.
So we're almost at the, what I consider to be
Need a
the
card to access that elevator.
halfway
I
point.
know you've got one. Hand it over, Doc.
But yeah, no weapon.
Fine.
My most favourite category to run, just because it's interesting,
We're all set.
and you don't have to shoot anything, so.
Meet you at the heliport.
Hey, wait, where are you going?
I have a little.
But it is longer than any percent,
I'll drop this
because it,
guy on the brick.
any percent, like I said before, we kill the first dino, which saves some time, because we don't activate certain cutscenes at the beginning. Also, the dino fight we're coming to soon is a lot quicker. That saves us the most amount of time in any percent compared to no weapon. So now we're just heading back to the control room. Now we got the key card for the elevator. So soon we're coming up to the second T-Rex encounter. Quite an annoying encounter. It is possible to get insta-killed on this encounter. You kind of have to time when you move. We'll come to it in a second. Yeah, you want to make sure you grab this item, otherwise you're going to waste a lot of time. So yeah, Japanese doesn't save an awful lot of time. It's just bits like that where the text actually scrolls. Most of the time it doesn't scroll, but it's just a few seconds here and there. So this is the T-Rex encounter. You just want to run straight up until the door, and then every like, I always count 2 seconds. Then you want to run, quick turn, 2 seconds, run.
I'm a bit busy right now. Do something about it.
So yeah, that's it. I just count a couple of seconds. So this is what I consider to be the halfway point in the game.
I'll give you the abridged version. Mission complete. Scrub the initial plans and pick
So this
us
is
up
like
at the teleport immediately.
around
This entire island is
48
the only survivor not on the
minutes into the run,
I'll give you the details later.
and the run is usually 1 hour 40,
ASAP.
so around the halfway point.
Regina, what's your situation?
The chopper's on its way here.
Great. Don't waste any time. And remember, use the main entrance to get to the heliport.
So this is where it starts to get exciting, because we're at the halfway point, this music's playing, and we're in a casual run. You'd be like, oh, we're pretty much finished. But yeah, we finally get to go to a new area, so we're pretty much done with this area right now. So here, there is these guys again. So these are kind of annoying to dodge. When you can kind of feel like they're gonna drop down and get you, you kind of just want to move. Not stop going in a straight line, just move left or right. Kind of have to predict when they're gonna come down. Yeah, I kind of got hit there. They're pretty hard to dodge, so. And on this bit, you just want to hug the wall. These guys won't really get you. Now in N%, we'd go up the ladder to get the grenade launcher, but since we're doing no weapon, we just do the puzzle straight away. So So you want to be careful not to push a different box by accident. As like I said, you can't cancel the animation, and she'll just push it the whole way. So you would have to reset the room at that point, which requires you to leave the room and come back in, which wastes a lot of time. Okay, so now we got the T-Rex third encounter. Now in any percent we'd shoot 3 grenade rounds at him, which would end the fight. However, in no weapon we need to just run around this helicopter. But you want to be careful, you don't go too fast because he will quick turn and go the other direction, so you want to not be too quick and kind of slow down. But if he hits you, it wastes quite a bit of time, you get knocked on the floor and have to get back up. Yeah, this lasts quite a bit, which is why any percent is quicker. So yeah, when Rick does that, it's pretty much the end of the fight.
Find another way.
So now we're in a different area. These little dinos aren't really a bother in this game. In Dino Crisis 2 they're a bit of a pain, but in this they're pretty harmless. As long as you keep running. So you want to get the item, but you want to make sure you examine the memo. Otherwise you can't continue, and Rick will just say he needs more time to fix the elevator.
Are you done yet?
What do you mean? Of course. Let's get moving.
So, I think I found a way out of here.
Right on, girl. Let's hear it.
So now we're very close to the last part, the last area, which is kind of like the lab in Resident Evil terms.
Okay, we're here again. Now what?
We should be able to get to the underground port from here.
Yeah. Then let's do it.
Hurry! I'm worried about Gale.
Our fearless leader. Fine. Let's move out.
So yeah, this last area is quite there's quite a lot of backtracking
What happened?
and a few puzzles, and also the fairy Xenosaurus, the worst enemy in the game, and a lot of resets will happen due to the dinosaurs in this last area.
Gale, it looks like there's a port nearby. There's gotta be a ship we can use.
Copy. Leave Kirk to me. You two get the power back online and secure our escape.
You also may notice the handgun in the background on the floor. You know, it's still there from earlier. We don't need that. That just stays there for the whole game. And this is a really big elevator door. Just thought I'd mention that. Conveniently enough, it's big enough to fit a T-Rex in.
What the? This battery's completely dead.
So you want to go in here and you want to get the battery. So you want to talk to Rick, you don't want to go to the actual display
Perfect.
where the batteries
This
go.
is all we need to restore the power.
Nice enough, he does it for you, so...
I'll work on the security system. You handle our escape route.
So yeah, he runs off. You pretty much just want to follow him. We're going in that direction. So in this room, we want to grab 2 items. And then head out. We don't actually use any emergency boxes in this game, which is pretty much equivalent to an item box in Resident Evil. But they are connected, but there's different colours. And they have different sort of items in. So yeah, that's the fairy Xenosaurus. Now this dinosaur will be our worst nightmare in this game. Caused a lot of resets. Unfortunately, it's right at the end of the game, or the last area. Right there, I got caught on like an invisible barrier, kind of like that invisible edge. I recommend don't make the same mistake I did. Getting hit by those guys takes quite a bit of health off, and they can body you very easily. Yeah, so this is the last crane puzzle. Quite a few inputs in this one, so I just take note. So yeah, we're close to the end now. But yeah, the hardest part of this last area is pretty much just those dinosaurs. Unfortunately, there isn't a pattern you can follow to dodge those kind of dinosaurs. And because it's RNG where they are in the room, like the placement, it's they're kind of annoying to dodge, so they also have an attack where they grab you with the mouth and kind of throw you around a bit. That of course wastes a lot of time and does a lot of damage. But the health packs, the med packs we picked up throughout the game are pretty much just for this last area. So I am planning to do a segmented run eventually. Also planning to do a any percent run. Haven't got around to it yet. Segmented run I can see being quite possible because obviously when you save you just go through a door. This is an area that can be really bad as it's just RNG where they are. That was kind of bad RNG that he was right next to that door. That it went kind of well, but that could have been much worse. Also here as well. That was quite lucky. But those two corridors with where they have two each in, they're reset places. Very easy to get to die there or lose a lot of health. So this raptor will follow us into this room and he's very persistent to get us. You kind of want to go around this thing. Yeah, you can actually jump over it. But you kind of want to go behind it and then see which way he decides to go and go the other way. This room right here, we pretty much need to go and just activate this cutscene. There's nothing in this room.
Yeah. Well, at least Kirk's running out of places to hide.
So right here I was kind of unlucky. This guy can also be a problem. As you can see, I wasted quite a bit of time at this bit. And I also had to heal. But like I said, it's just this last area that we use all the health items. You shouldn't need to use it before this area.
Regina, I fixed it. You can open the shutters now.
So the go for this is waterway. It's kind of annoying that this dino gets in this room.
Regina, it looks like this door leads to the port. Take a while before I can pop this open.
You copy, Mike? I found the key to the port, but I got a lizard riding on my tail. I'm heading to the main elevator right now. I'll meet it at the ground level. Hurry!
Huh. Sounds like we're not the only ones having problems.
I'm glad you're amused. But if that guy gets eaten, we're going to have to retrieve the key from that dinosaur's stomach. You've got to save him.
So yeah, now we need to go and get the key. Supposedly before the dino eats the guy. A lot of people make mistakes here. You literally just want to go straight. If you run straight, he will not get you 100%. A lot of people try and move a little bit. You just don't want to move whatsoever, just run straight. Again, that was quite lucky. Normally when they do that attack, they swing their arm out. It's normally like an 80% chance they'll get you, and they kind of knock you to the other side of them. It's kind of annoying. So you want to get the battery again, so we can open the elevator door. So yeah, this is another one of those battery puzzles. Red, blue, green, white. You kind of get used to the order of things by the end of the run. So when we go into this elevator, we wanna get 2 items in here. There's 1 item on each corpse, but we only need 2. We need 1 from this and 1 from the one next to it. You don't want to do what I did. I accidentally missed one of the items on one run I did and had to do a lot of backtracking. So yeah, try not to forget one of those items. So that's quite lucky. And that was quite unfortunate. Normally it's a good thing if they do that attack, the one where it takes them a second and they kind of hit you from above rather than the side. That's preferred. You normally get a chance to run past them.
Think fast.
Yes. What is that?
I saw something like this in Kirk's personal lab.
So yeah,
This could be a problem.
this vortex thing's kind of a bummer. Pretty much adds
This
another
vortex must be the side
20
effect
minutes
of
onto the
any
game.
experiment.
And the notorious big gold coin. You would not want to throw that in there.
So how are we supposed to get around this thing?
Either we find a way or we both end up as dino droppings.
Not funny. Okay, I'll pull up any relevant data on the computer. Regina, you search around for any possible clues or leads.
So yeah, you just need to pick that DDK code up. So yeah, so that's a good example of him using that above attack and that being better. If you use that side attack, there would have been a chance I would have got hit then. So you want to get the 2 items here, and then, oh yeah, I accidentally, I messed this up quite a bit. But yeah, you want to use the number 1 chip on the left one, number 2 chip on the right, and it's 0392 in the Japanese version. And this puzzle I kind of messed up too. You want to get it so it's all clear on the left and half white, half red on the right hand side. But yeah, you want to kind of separate it like that first. And then you want to go to the other options so you can start switching them over. Yeah, this is where I kind of messed it up. I've wasted quite a bit of time on this puzzle. And then the code for this DDK door is stabilizer. This is the second to last DDK door. So you just want to get this item and go back out. There's nothing else in that room to get. So yeah, you want to be careful there, you can get bodied and kind of double teamed by those guys. So the last AGDQ code is Dr. Kirk. So the first one, it's the second chip, and then for the next one it's the first chip. You just want to kind of remember it's the opposite way around.
Rick, I've located the main generator of the third energy.
Great. See if you can activate it.
So this is like the third energy big machine thing. We kind of need to get the initializer and stabilizer to activate that. But we need to kind of activate it first. And we got another one of those puzzles where we need to kind of like turn it left or right. The first one we have to turn him right, this one we have to turn him left. So this middle one we turn left, this one's normal, and this one left.
Generator test complete. Remember, a special key card is required to operate the generator.
So yeah, now we need the, we basically need Dr. Kirk's ID card. So in this room, yeah, this woman kind of got killed, unfortunately. And it doesn't really look like blood, it looks brown to me, so God knows what happened, but you want to use the fingerprint device on that keypad where the handprint is. And then we got another long Dr. Kirk scene.
Carving a name for myself in history with the ultimate energy source.
Open your eyes, you freak. Your precious creation is nothing more than another weapon to be misused.
You seem to have a small degree of superficial intelligence. It's too bad that it is wasted on one who is about to die.
Rick, our target has been secured. Report here immediately. Sorry to interrupt your lecture, Doc. You were saying?
Yes, I was sane. I discovered how the third energy could affect space if it ran unchecked 3 years ago. I thought that the energy had the ability to transfer selective space to an alternate time-space continuum. But I was incorrect. The space was not transferred, it was exchanged. To put it in terms that even you can understand, third energy has the ability to replace a pocket in space with one from a different time.
What?
Yes. I came to these conclusions following this evening's final experiment. You've seen the effects yourself. Those beasts were occupying the space this facility is located on almost 65 million years ago.
Right. So that's how those dinosaurs appeared in our time.
Precisely. And that is what I have done.
Uh-huh. And how many people were sacrificed before you made this discovery?
Who cares? The numbers are quite irrelevant. Let's just say that there were many extraordinary deaths for ordinary men, don't you think?
Spoken like a true devil.
A god or a devil? I don't care about that. Only my experiment.
Enough. Only one thing matters at this point. Your grand invention is blocking our escape.
You need to destroy the vortex. The only way to do that is to allow the generator's third energy levels to overload. Theoretically speaking, the third energy and the vortex will cancel each other out if they come in contact with one another. But there is one small catch. If you cannot stop the generator's third energy overload, this entire region may be shifted to another point in the space-time continuum.
Then we'll just make sure to be somewhere else when the shift happens. No problem.
But we couldn't even activate the device.
You're missing the initializer and stabilizer, right?
Where are...
Calm down. They should be stored in one of the security level A rooms on floor B3.
Very good, Doc. Now you understand our situation. We live, you live.
So here we get another option to go with Rick's or Gale's idea. We want to go with Gale's again.
I'll keep an eye on the doc.
Rick's idea pretty much
You go find those
makes
devices
us
and overload the
do a
third
lot of
energy.
trekking around,
They're in a security level A room.
getting the parts for the initializer and stabilizer and putting it together, which is tricky and wastes a lot of time. So Gale's idea is much quicker.
This contains the draft plans for the initializer and stabilizer. I stumbled over them while searching through the database. Fortunately, the room where the parts are stored is not far from it. We should gather up the parts and assemble the device.
Don't be ridiculous. Regina doesn't have the technical knowledge for that. We don't even know if all the right parts are there. We'd be better off simply trying to hunt down the completed device.
It's too dangerous down there. She won't make it.
It's your call then, Regina. You're the one who has to do this. So what's your choice? Okay, let's do it.
Whatever you do, don't drop your guard for a second.
So yeah, now we just need to go back to the crane 2 and get the completed parts. It's just a bit of backtracking now. What makes it annoying is I have to go past the Ferrocenosauruses again, or Ferrocenosaurusi. Don't know what the plural is. So Dr. Kurt's ID code is 78814 for the Japanese version. You can do this now, or you can do this when you come back through. I do it first just so I don't accidentally forget to do it on the way back through. Doesn't really make much of a difference time-wise. So yeah, I kind of messed up here too. What you want to do is just go straight for the door. I accidentally went the other way, and that triggered him to come through. So I kind of messed up there. I wasted time with the animation and also got hit twice. And let's use a heal on it. You can kind of use it to your advantage if you want to do that. If you go a bit out of the way like I just did, it means that there's only going to be one dino when you go in there, but it's kind of up to you, but it wastes time overall. So this bit's pretty simple, we just get the complete parts. Saves so much time compared to Rick's idea. It's just the last time we need to come through this corridor. So that's the last healing item. Normally when you reset, it's either if you get completely annihilated and die or lose so much health. But it's normally when you run out of healing items and get put back on the limping status, or when she's kind of like on caution where she's holding herself. Her foot speed is decreased when she's on lower health, so it wastes a huge amount of time. So going back through that other room, if you didn't already use the code for Dr. Kirk's keycard, use it then. So now we just need to put the initializer and stabilizer in. You want to go with this bottom one first. So yeah, after you put it in, you just want to go to the computer and just activate it. There isn't really much to say at this point, it's just putting these in, activating it. But you want to do it in this order because it's faster. Right, so we're very close to the end now.
Warning, third energy output is approaching critical point. Cease operation immediately. Third energy output is approaching critical point.
Yes, this game's quite long. It's mostly due to cutscenes.
Then we won't look back.
when you actually think about it, there isn't much steps to do complete the game. It's just cutscenes. So now we just need to go to Gale. Quickest way is to go this way through the door we unlocked earlier. So that's the only door animation in the game that's like Resident Evil. But yeah, pretty cool.
Alright. Overload levels are increasing.
So coming up now is the last decision that you get to make between Rick and Gale. For this one we want to choose Rick, because it's the quickest. If we choose Gale, it pretty much gives us the best ending.
I'm gonna kill him. This is it. All that's left is our escape. Let's go.
Wait, what about Kirk?
What about it? It's a miracle we're still alive at this point. Forget about it.
Don't forget the mission. You're not here to babysit.
Sorry, but I have a conscience. I'm taking you back now.
No. You two get going. I'm going after Kurt.
What? You're insane! Don't you remember our situation? The third energy can't be controlled anymore. Staying here any longer is suicide.
Nine. I'm not back in 30 minutes. You two make your escape without me.
Hey, do something!
Gale!
Thanks. That G.I. Joe deserved. Come on.
So that's it. If we chose Gale, we'd go after Dr. Kirk, and it would take a lot longer, but we'd get the best ending. So now we've got the container to put the nuclear fuel in. Simply just get the fuel, put it in, go back to Rick. I accidentally used the wrong one. I don't know why, because I know what that is. I just accidentally clicked the wrong one. So yeah, I did make quite a few mistakes on this run. So I am going to do it again. But I kind of want to get an any % run done, see what time I can get on that.
It's the T-Rex again.
Leave him to me. You just work on getting that thing fixed.
Right. Hold up, Regina. Take this.
So he gives us grenade rounds there. We don't need them because it's no weapons, so just don't bother getting them. Okay, so this is the final boss. All you want to do is keep running around, similar to the helicopter fight, but it's more deadly. He kind of insta kill you. You kind of want to hug the wall a bit. So you want to hug the wall. And that's it. That is Dino Crisis done. Now we just got the cutscene and the final time and credits.
All set? It's time to make like a tree and get out of here. Oh boy, I'd say it's time to run. Blast! It's gonna overtake us.
And that's it. Dino Crisis is done. Regina looks awesome, as usual. That's one of 3 endings. There are separate endings, but this is the quickest and requires. Well, actually, this is not the quickest. I believe Gale's second Gale's option, but if you try and do this ending, I believe it's a little bit quicker. But it requires you to use the grenade launcher. So that's not an option. This is the only ending where you don't have to use a gun. But yeah, I want to do some Dino Crisis 2 speedruns soon. I just need to practice that game a bit. It's been a while since I've done Dino Crisis 2, but that'll be fun. I think that's next on my list after I've fully done Dino Crisis. I need to do an any % run. By the time this video is on YouTube, there might be an any % run already on there. But I also want to do a best ending and segmented run, and then I think I'll go to Dino Crisis 2. I also own Dino Crisis 2 on PS1, the Japanese version, so I'll be playing that version. But the hardest part of this game was learning the puzzles. That was the hardest part. For the most part, I just have a notepad and I just wrote down the puzzles. I'd recommend writing them down in order, just because it's yeah, it's quite. If you don't put them in order, I've made mistakes where I'm like searching for the right code. I'm like, which one is it? I'll do it in this right order. There is a guide on. There is a guide on Speedrun.com with all the codes, but it is missing.
You have mail.
I believe it's missing.
The final report of Operation Dr. Kirk.
I believe it's missing
Name, Regina.
at least one of the codes.
Dr. Kirk. Status unknown.
Due to unforeseen elements of the area, we were unable to recapture Dr. Kirk. His survival is unknown.
Gale. Status alive.
Gale did survive, but he is seriously injured and is currently recovering at our military medical facility.
Rick. Status alive.
Rick is currently analyzing the data that was recovered from Ibis Island.
Regina. Status alive.
As for myself, I'm ready to begin my next assignment.
Tom. Status deceased.
Yeah, my cat kinda just
Attacked and killed by a giant reptile.
jumped through the window, as he does.
Cooper. Status unknown.
We lost contact with Cooper at the beginning of the mission, and have not heard from him since then.
Mission complete.
So this is the final time. 1:22:57. So, like I said, I made a lot of mistakes. I'm planning to do this again. Hopefully, can save quite a bit more time. But I think it's down just to ironing out little things and not messing up. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you have watched all the way through, I hope this helped. If anyone has watched this for guidance.